Into the Future, Chapter 3. Sounds harmless, right? Well, think again, because this is one of the most brutal chapters in the Battle Cats. Today, we're ranking the top 5 stages that made players rage, cry, and seriously question why they even play this game. Grab your cat cannon, let's jump right in. For this list, I'm looking at how tough the enemies are, how much pain resource management caused me, and honestly, how many times I almost threw my phone across the room. In short, this is pain. Pure, unfiltered gamer suffering. Top 5. The Great Abyss. This one's the 24th stage in Into the Future, and in Chapter 3, this is where we finally get introduced to Bun Bun's symbiote. Basically, it's a twisted version of the classic teacher Bun Bun, and yeah, it shares a lot in common with its buddies JK Bun Bun and Bun Bun Black. But there's one key difference. This guy has a 5% chance to trigger a level 1 wave attack. Now, 5% might not sound like much, right? But trust me, when that wave hits, it can actually reach your crazed Bahamut cat standing all the way in the back. And if your main attacker gets taken down, yeah, you're in serious trouble. Top 4. NASA. NASA is the 44th stage in Into the Future, and honestly, this one feels like it's on a whole different level. It's way harder than anything that came before it. Now, I Am Face spawns as the boss here, but surprisingly, he's not the real problem. With his slow attack speed, you can easily stall him with some meat shields and let your crazed Bahamut cat deal free damage from behind. But the real nightmare begins around the 100-second mark, when 2 Shadow Boxer Ks show up, both buffed to a terrifying 200% power. That's when everything goes downhill. Their insane DPS just melts through your lineup, and their constant knockbacks make it super hard for crazed Bahamut cat to land a clean hit. And once Bahamut goes down, yeah, your run's pretty much over. This stage made me genuinely fear Shadow Boxer Ks forever. Top 3. Bermuda. Right after NASA, you hit another wall, the stage that stops so many players from unlocking Awakened Bahamut's true form. And yeah, Bermuda is brutal. The boss here is Calamari, rocking one of the most broken abilities in the entire game, a 50% chance to weaken your cat units to just 10% attack power for 5 seconds with a range of 500. Basically, almost every non-gacha unit you have gets completely outranged and crippled. But it doesn't end there. Calamari also brings along a terrifying supporter, Ursa Major, buffed to 600%. At that level, it can one-shot nearly any unit in your lineup. And the worst part? It fights even more confidently thanks to Calamari constantly weakening your attackers. It's a deadly combo, one that arguably makes Bermuda even harder than NASA. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, once Ursa Major drops to 50% HP, it activates Strengthen, doubling its damage output to an insane 1200%. To make things even tougher, this stage doesn't give you much money to work with. Most of your income comes from bulky enemies to kill, so you'll need to manage your economy carefully and time your cat spawns perfectly. Otherwise, Bermuda will absolutely break you. Top 2. Moon. Moon is the 48th and final stage in all Into the Future chapters, and of course, you can't talk about it without mentioning Raging Bahamut Cat. Now, on paper, Raging Bahamut isn't that scary. It's got a long enough backswing that makes it pretty easy to stall with meat shields. But here's where the real problem begins. Where exactly are you getting the money to keep spamming those meat shields? Into the Future Chapter 3, Moon is designed in a really clever and evil way. The enemies that spawn alongside Bahamut don't give you a stable or consistent source of income. At some point, your money will run dry, and that's when things start falling apart. Using Cat CPU can help automate your wall spamming, but it's also a double-edged sword. It might drain all your cash before you even realize it. So, when building your lineup, you really need to balance efficiency and control. And as if that wasn't enough pressure, there's a timer ticking in the background. After 400 seconds, Alpaki starts spawning buffed to 300%. Raging Bahamut alone is already a nightmare, but once Alpakis join in, with their massive 550 range, it becomes chaos. Because Bahamut gets knocked back so easily, your key attackers can accidentally step right into Alpaki's attack zone, and that's usually game over. The best advice? Try to finish the stage before the 400-second mark. Easier said than done, because this stage pushes you right to your limits. Top 1. Floating Continent. If there's any stage tougher than Moon, it's definitely this one. With 3 Nami boars, each buffed to a ridiculous 750%, this stage is pure chaos, at least from my perspective. I cleared this one no gotcha, just to experience the full pain of it. And yeah, it delivered. If you have Psycho Cat, things get a lot easier since it perfectly counters Nami Boar. But without it, this stage turns into absolute madness. What makes it even harder than Moon is the constant pressure from those Nami Boars. They hit fast, they push hard, and they never let up. Honestly, it feels even more intense than fighting Raging Bahamut Cat. And since the Battle Cats doesn't show enemy HP bars, you never know how close you are to victory. Every second feels like walking on a knife's edge. To make matters worse, the enemies here throw a mix of nasty effects at your units. Knockbacks from Nami Boar, freezes from Mawaf, and slows from Imperator Sail. And with a no gacha lineup, you've got almost no crowd control to fight back. Having 3 Nami Boars means the pressure never really stops. It just keeps building. I still remember the first time I fought a single Nami Boar back in Chapter 1. That push speed alone haunted me for weeks. Now imagine dealing with 3 of them at once. So yeah, make sure you farmed all your treasures before attempting Floating Continent. You'll need every bit of help you can get.